Sony just locks you out of every game you've ever bought digitally.
Objection!
At least that's what the internet has been telling you for the past few weeks. And look, I get it. That headline is terrifying. I saw it, you saw it, 6.5 million people saw it on Twitter or X. Before anybody really stopped to ask, is this actually true? So today, we're doing something a little different. We're going to talk about the Sony DRM decision, what happened, what people thought happened, and maybe more importantly, why we all lost our minds so fast. Hello everybody, my name is Angel or Enlighten, and today we're talking about Sony. Okay, let's rewind. Late April 2026, a guy named Lance McDonald, crazy name I know, a well-known gamer, modder, and developer, posts on Twitter, and his post says something along the lines of, hugely terrible DRM has now, damn me read that again. Hugely terrible DRM has now been rolled out to all PS4 and PS5 digital games. Every digital game you buy now requires an online check-in every 30 days. If you buy a digital game and don't connect to the console and the internet for 30 days, your license will be removed. Now Lance is a credible dude. People respect him. So when this news hit, it spread fast, extremely fast. 6.5 million people saw it. And I think right now it's sitting at 6.7 million views. Reddit explodes, YouTube thumbnails with Sony logos and giant red X's start experiencing where gaming Twitter or gaming X, whatever we're calling it, becomes a war zone. And I had to be honest, my first reaction was also, what the hell? But then I did something crazy for the gaming community. I waited. So here's what Sony actually eventually clarified. After days of silence, which did not really help, it's not a 30-day reoccurring check-in. It's a one-time online check right after you purchase a game to confirm that the license is legitimate. After that, you're good. Play offline forever when you... Play offline for forever if you want to. The check doesn't repeat. Sony also didn't explain why they introduced it right away, which is where the main concern really comes from. But the leading theory, refund scams. There was apparently a growing loophole where people would buy a digital game, take their console offline, request a refund from PlayStation, get their money back, and just keep the game forever. So this is a one-time check. It's basically Sony saying, hold on, let's confirm, do you actually own the game before you can go offline? Now, is that really a satisfying explanation? Kind of. Is it a perfectly designed system? Hell no. But is it Sony stealing your games or locking them away? No, not at all. Okay, so here's the thing I actually want to talk about. Because the DRM stuff is kind of old. I know, I'm late. But what I find way more interesting is how fast everything spiraled. Think about the timeline. Lance post, 6 million views, panic, YouTube videos, trending hashtags, damn it. Think about the timeline. Lance post, 6 million views, panic, YouTube videos, trending hashtags, Reddit mega threads, TikTok's videos everywhere. All this happened before Sony said a single word. And when Sony finally did speak up, days later, more than half the people who shared the original post never saw the correction. So that's the internet. That's how we are. The fire spreads at the speed of light, and the fire extinguisher arrives on a tricycle. And look, I'm not blaming Lance or anyone else who posted these videos because they were entertaining, they were spreading the news, but not the correct news. The problem is the machine that picked it up ran with it. Never came back, never looked back once. Short form gaming media, whether it's tweets, YouTube shorts, TikTok, quick hit news articles, it's optimized for one thing, the first reaction, the hot take, the panic button. Because that's what gets clicks, that's what gets shares, that's what gets monies. I said monies, ill. Sony introduces Sony introduces new confusing DRM policy that may or may not get... Sony introduces confusing new DRM policy that may or may not affect offline play. That wouldn't go viral. You know that. Sony locks you out of your games would go viral. And it did. And before you feel smug or badass because you didn't fall for it, that gets all of us. Genuinely. The gaming community is uniquely primed for this kind of panic because we've been here before. Many times. Too many times. Remember the launch of the Xbox One back in 2013? Or, damn, that was 2013? Jesus. Always online requirements, complicated game sharing, the whole mess. Microsoft got flamed for it, and rightfully so. And they had to walk it back entirely. And that still resonates with us. Or what about when Sony themselves pulled games off the PlayStation Store for a few years back with basically no warning? Or the whole PlayStation Now to PS Plus rebrand confusion? Gamers have a long memory for feeling like what they buy online doesn't truly belong to them. So when someone credible posts Sony's locking you out of your games every 30 days, every neuron in your brain connected to gaming trauma, quotation marks, fires at once. It feels true because something like this has been true before. And that's what sucks. That's the environment where misinformation like this thrives. And it's not stupidity, it's pattern recognition gone into overdrive. Now, I do want to be fair to the people who are still upset, because some of the criticism of Sony here is completely valid. 1. Sony took days to clarify something they could have explained in one tweet in 5 minutes. That sounds like the panic fester. If you're going to introduce any kind of DRM change, you communicate it clearly, up front. The fact that they didn't is either careless or calculated. Either way, not a good look. Not at all. 2. Even if it's just a one-time check, it's still a reminder that your digital library isn't really yours. If Sony servers randomly go down permanently, somehow, what happens to your verification? What happens to the games? What happens to the money you paid for those games? There's not really a great answer for any of those questions. 3. The timing. This rolled out silently, no announcement. You would think something that touches literally every aspect of the digital purchase would deserve a blog post, a patch note, a TikTok for God's sake. But we got nothing. So yeah, Sony fumbled this. The initial concern wasn't crazy. It just got amplified into something it shouldn't have. And yeah, I know I've been yapping for like however long this video is, but here's the real point. Not just from this story, but from gaming news, in however many years gaming news has existed, we're living in a media environment that is structurally rewarded for being first, not for being right. And in gaming especially, the community is passionate, online, and emotionally invested, which means when a story hits the right nerve, it goes nuclear before anybody can stop it. That's not a reason to be cynical. It's a reason to be a little slower, a little more, let me check my sources before you scream. Because the correction never travels as fast as the original claim. And honestly, this applies to me too. I could have made a Sony's horrible video like a week or two ago, but that didn't feel right. It would have got more views, but it wasn't the full picture. Also, I was kind of hoping for Sony to do something horrible because I don't like them, but like, that's not the point. So yeah, this video is just saying, check your sources. Like, whatever you read online, no matter who it's coming from, could be coming from the people who posted it themselves. Check sources. Goodbye.